What's going on, everybody? It's the Burn Down. Today's episode, we have frequently asked questions.
Cigar fact for your ass.
A little fact.
So if you're into that sort of stuff, stay tuned. It's the Burn Down.
It's the Burn Down.
Go get the damn juice.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Burn Down.
We're here at another episode of the glorious Burn Down where we spark it up,
Talk it out.
and burn it down.
Episode 31.
31, if you guys are.
31.
If you guys can't speak Spanish.
The dirty one. This is the
31.
dirty one.
This is the dirtiest episode it's going to be.
This is the dirty one.
This is the dirty one.
So we got frequently asked questions. So
Fact.
we get them all the time in the DMs. People slide in them DMs.
Yeah, even DM, like just all over, you know,
Yeah.
friends, family, everybody there. Everyone always asks.
So we got a list of them through various websites, through DMs, through emails, through what we remember, and we're just going to try to answer them to the best of our ability for you guys. I'm sure you've either had this question before or have been asked this question or these questions. So before we do that, let's talk about what we're smoking.
Yeah, baby. What we got for the day? What we got? Take them. Let them know.
So
what's
these are the Monte Cristo 50 years. 50 años.
50 años.
50 years. So these I got from, there you go, sir.
Well, 50 años.
These I got from Rocky Patel's Burn. Again, I've been getting a lot of the ones we smoke. I'm like, I got it from Rocky Patel Burn in Pittsburgh. I got it from Rocky Patel Burn in
if
Pittsburgh.
you didn't tell people the story, you went a little crazy one night.
I got a little tuned up on Manhattans.
Nothing wrong bringing the owe me back. The mama know what body sell trophy glass.
$400 in cigars. And, but I got some good ones. I got a lot of good ones.
Paid cash only. No credit card statement available.
Hey, make money and spend money. So these, ooh, baby.
And this is a question we're gonna talk about. Cellophane.
Cellophane. So
What do you do with it? What do you do with it?
Is it good to keep it on? Is it good to take it off? Why do they put it on there? So we're going to get into that. But before we do that, we're going to spark it up
Talk it out.
and then burn it down. So let's do it.
Let's rock. Perfect.
Boom.
So, I was saying,
Oh, yeah.
I was on Instagram the other day.
Tell the people.
Our boy from Las Vegas, Cigar Hustler. I want to know. I saw him lighting up a cigar, toasting the foot. He did it once, and he started going back and forth like a shaker. Lit it up again. Started going back and forth again, and then he started puffing on it.
Really?
So I don't know if maybe like it gets like air through the foot of cigar, or it just gets it going. But I'm interested.
You know what it could be is like, I think it could have the same thing as blowing on it. Like you're going like this, and you're getting the air to go around it to try to.
Something I never seen before. So
Because I always blow on. Like I'll check after I light it to see if there's any spots that haven't been lit, and you can blow on it, and the air makes the embers glow, and it'll start to spread out the burn to make sure it even instead of using a torch, because then you might be torching it too much, whereas just naturally letting
for sure.
it'll be a little bit of an easier.
I think it's exactly what it is. So, Smoke Hustler, we know you're going to be watching. Let us know. Let us know where you came up with that or where you got that from, because I'd be interested to know. But I would believe it'd be the same thing as just blowing on it.
Yeah, this one's nice so far.
Good. It's good. I never even seen this. I never heard of this.
50 años, Dominican Republic, Monte Cristo. I'm definitely gonna save this band. Oh, Golden Red. Come on, man, that's up your alley.
That might be a new addition to the phone.
A new addition, new addition. Maybe that's how you say it. I don't know. All right, first
First things first. Fuck the bitch in the clique you came.
First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
For real.
For real.
First off, I was singing the wrong lyric.
So, question number 1.
Question numero uno.
Okay. And what we're going to say right off the bat is if you have a question, drop a comment right now. You may be too early, we may answer it by the end of the video, but if we don't answer it, drop a comment. All right. So, first question.
What do we got?
My cigars are over-humidified. What can I do to restore the humidor to optimal conditions? Can the cigars be saved?
Well, I think it's a case-by-case scenario. I think in most cases, they can be saved. I've had an instance where one of my cigars was very, very humid. It was super squishy. Squishy.
So what would you do like a single? So let's say a single cigar.
Yeah.
So not necessarily your humidor, but a single cigar is too mushy. What would you do? How would you restore it?
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, I wanted to see what would work. It was actually my cousin. He said, "Hey man, I got this cigar. I haven't smoked it," and he just had it lying around. And I think it was like, I don't know where he kept it, but it was terribly squishy. It felt like I was like this. And I was like, all right. So I didn't smoke it right away. I just put it in my humidor. I just let it chill in my humidor. I don't know, about
Come back to light, or
a couple months. You know, I would just move it around every once in a while. A couple months later, I mean, it was still a little squishy, but I mean, it was not when I first got it. So I mean, as long as you're on top of it. So you
just let it sit in there? And
yeah, just let it sit in there for a few months.
Okay.
I kind of rotated it every now and then let it marinate. And it seemed to be fine. I mean, I don't know if that's the way to do it, but
I know one like trick that you can do is you can have just a regular desktop humidor that isn't seasoned yet or doesn't have a humidification device in it, just a small one like a 10 count. And if you have it too squishy, you could put it in that humidor and close it up.
Just let it chill.
And just let it chill because it'll give off some of its humidity to the wood in the humidor in the smaller one. And then after a day or two, it'll come back, and then you can put it back in your humidor. But if your humidor itself is too humid, one way to bring the humidity down, if you have an active humidification device like a Cigar Oasis, you can just turn that down, right? But another trick that you can do is take pieces of cedar, like the cedar sleeves that you might get. Sometimes they give them in boxes, or you might get cedar sleeves. You can find them at a local cigar shop. You can just put a couple pieces of those in there because the dry cedar will steal some of the humidity from the cigars in the humidor. So that's a trick to bring your levels down.
I mean, I've noticed even one time when I had a different humidor, it was way too high. It was like, I don't know, 78, 79. It was getting up there. And I was like, what the hell? And I didn't really have, I have like a couple of those, what do you call them? Like the little plastic bottles with all the little beads in them. Mm-hmm. So I had one little one in there, and there was probably like 25, 30 cigars. And I kind of I put a larger one in there. I kind of took up a good amount of space in the humidor, and I just brought it down.
Oh, well, like put that one in there without any solution in there and let it, and like let it absorb. One thing you should not do is you should not leave the humidor door open.
Don't do that.
Never.
You should not do that because that's going to fluctuate too much, and then you're going to ruin the climate that's inside your humidor. You just want to make small adjustments. You don't want to make huge adjustments.
And they say, and I switched my humidor from like this, but I used to have a black humidor, and I used to have a window. And then I was reading somewhere that you really don't want a glass window in your humidor because sunlight can get in it.
Yeah, if it's in a bad location.
Yeah, so I gotta just keep it closed off now. I went so far that I put black tape over it once when I was waiting for a new humidor. I just put black tape over it because I didn't want it to no sunlight in there.
Yeah, because I have the glass one on, but mine's a fridge, and that's a different. That keeps the whole climate, the temperature, and everything. But so that would be. Now, what would you do for the opposite? If you have that's a cigar that's too humid, it's got too much moisture. What would you do for a cigar that's too dry?
Too dry?
How dry do you want it?
Like if you got a cigar, somebody sent you a cigar and it's too dry, you can't smoke it right now. What would you do to?
I might just like put it, like depending how many cigars it is, just put it in a plastic bag and just put a shit ton of either like gel beads or Bovitas or even just distilled water, and just like overpower it with humidity and just let them chill for a couple days.
I would. That's what I would do too. Is I would take it and put it in your humidor. So what happens is wherever your humidification device is, the cigars that are near that are obviously going to get the humidity first, and the cigars furthest away are not going to get as much. So what I would do is I would take the cigar and I'd put it in my humidor right by the fan.
Wherever you're getting it from.
Yeah, which actually leads us into another question of how to age your cigars properly, and a question of, does it matter where I put my cigars in my humidor? And the answer is yes.
Yep.
The closer you put to the humidification, it's going to get more humid than the further ones, and that's why you see people that rotate your cigars. If you're aging them for a long time, I would rotate them. Yeah,
it's an essential. You can't just let them chill.
You want to read the next one right there?
Right there. Let me see here. Although I use, let's see, is that the question? What's the difference? Okay, so what's the difference between a guillotine cutter and a stylish wedge cutter? What's the difference?
Or a punch cutter, or
will I damage my cigar? I think it's just really up to preference and doing it the right way. I mean,
it's not gonna damage it. I mean, the only place I could say that those V cutters might is on the smaller ring gauge cigars, but that's if you stick it in that huge, because the V cutter, there's not much cigar to put a V in.
Exactly.
You could still do it, but typically the cap on those like Lanceros there's not that much, so a straight cut is the best way to do it. But
I think,
or a punch, like you can't really punch when the punch is the same size as the cigar. You can't really do that.
I think straight cut, you have to precisely just cut off the cap. You can damage the cigar obviously if you go too low, and then you cut it and it just starts unraveling, and then you're SOL, as they say. Yep. Shit out of luck.
You're up shit's creek without a paddle.
Yeah, but typically you could see a cap on a cigar with a straight cut, and you could just look forward to just.
What's your preference? I think we talked about this. Straight.
We talked about it a few times. Straight cut. Every once in a while, I'll go V cut.
Yeah, I always go straight.
Yeah.
V cut. The one thing that V cut does do, and this is kind of like with torpedo cigars, or pyramids, or cigars that have the head that's smaller ring gauge than the foot, or that tapered shape, is it channels the smoke tighter, and it gives you a little bit more powerful of a draw. Like all the flavors come together. But again, it's personal preference. I like to just get the cap off and have a straight cut. It's the simplest one.
Yeah.
They've been doing that for
since
years,
Christopher Columbus. So. I mean, I think straight cut is just the way to go. I think the way it looks when the smoke comes out the top, obviously it's a good cigar. But V cut, I thought when I bought one, I thought it would be like a smoother draw, and sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not always not. I thought it'd be like a different channel. Because before I was really getting into cigars, I unconsciously was trying to do a V cut. I would take the cigar cutter, cut one side, and then do it like on an angle on both sides and try to make it.
Yeah.
Just trying things out as being like a newbie or a rookie, and I was just kind of fucking around. It didn't really work until I was like, oh, they actually have something.
They have one. Yeah. What it does is the smaller the cut, the more the tars and the oils will build up at the head of the cigar, and you're going to have a more powerful flavor than having more of a straight cut that it's wide. They don't have the chance to build up as much.
Yeah, most definitely.
So it does change the flavor a little bit. Another question: I've noticed a powdery substance on several of my cigars. What is this, and should I be concerned?
It's cocaine. Don't do it.
It's cocaine. Don't just lay it on a table.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Tony, what are you doing?
Tony. Next thing you know, you end up with a scar on your face.
You start smoking a cigar like this.
No, so
love a cigar. It's a great cigar. Great cigar. Great cigar. Great cigar.
I can't stop. Oh my god. Powdery substance. So
plume.
It's called plume. Yes.
Wipe it right off.
So there's two things. So that kind of leads into another question of what's the difference between plume and mold.
Yeah.
So plume is a powdery substance that you should be able to just brush off easily. And what that means is that's the oils that are coming to the surface of the cigar and creating a good form of mold, which means the cigar is perfect. It's ripe. It's ready.
That means your humidor is on
I'm pernt.
You're doing everything right.
Yeah, Kurt that shit. Light that shit up. You got burnt down. So plume is the nice powdery substance that'll cover the surface of the cigar. Mold will be this like crystal-like structure that's spotty. You'll see it, and it won't wipe off easily.
And sometimes it'll get even in the foot of the cigar, and it looks like a spider web.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck.
Yeah. So that's bad. And then black mold, obviously, we all know what black mold is. But if the white mold is spotty and it's like crystally, then that's bad. That's white mold, bad cigar.
Can't do it.
Plume, you should be able to brush off. It means it's perfect. Smoke it.
Yeah, just think about if you can't wipe it off, it's bad.
That's bad. That's bad. That's bad.
So we're actually pulling a lot of these questions from cigarficcionado.com, but they're all common questions. Shout out to cigarficcionado.com for.
Well, we collaborated and thought of certain questions that people ask us all the time, and we just said, you know what? There's probably a questionnaire or some kind of thing online, so we're kind of just going with the most related.
So I got a question for you, not on that one, but so what would you do if, or I've been asked this before, and I know you've been asked this, and you have the answer, is if you have a Boveda pack that is done,
Yeah.
right? Should you throw it out? Can you revive it? Do you go buy new ones?
I'm going to answer with you can buy. You don't have to buy new ones. You can revive them.
Now, how do you do that?
So a fun fact about a Boveda pack, which I found out over the years, is that when it gets hard, when it just rock solid, you just get a
Fucking rocks. Fucking
hammer.
just bam.
Just ready to go.
Just fucking ready.
But if you have a Boveda pack, either it's a big one, a small one, medium size, doesn't matter. Once you get
A big hammer and a small hammer.
big hard, little hard, don't matter.
Walk hard.
But
Hard.
how many times is this kid gonna come you off in 1 minute? Jesus was his name. You're just excited. It's all right. He's got new pants on. He's
Dude,
feeling.
I got these fresh ones, dude.
He's feeling good. He's jiving. He's the jive turkey.
They feel good. They're not like a fresh pair of jeans, man.
So, as I was saying,
Bovedas.
Boveda packs, once they get hard, you don't have to throw them out. You just get a bowl and you just throw in distilled water and just let them sink in there for about 4 or 5 days. Just leave them alone. Take them out, dry them off, let them air dry for an hour or so. Good as new. It's a beautiful. I don't know the business model about Boveda. I don't know if they know that. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. But
maybe you're totally destroying them, and they're like, "No, don't do that.
Don't tell a secret." But I think it's known. I have a bunch of Boveda packs, and I mean, I maybe bought one recently a couple months ago, but because I just needed more. But I redo it all the time. I reuse them all the time, and it's good as new. It's kind of crazy. They might be a little, because it's like, what is it? It's like a crystal in there. It might be like a little rocky, but for the most part, it's good as new. Like,
shit.
It's a fun fact. Great fact.
Wow.
Love it. Let's see. Is there advantage to box pressed cigars over round cigars?
No.
I don't think there's an advantage.
It is a totally just stylistic thing.
Yeah, I think it's really preference.
Mm-hmm.
It's
just something that like the cigar brands will do to differentiate themselves. But
yeah. I like box pressed certain cigars. I like the way they feel. I don't like all box pressed.
They don't roll off the counter, which is nice.
That's true. They make for a good picture. You don't have to. You can lay them flat and they won't move.
Yeah, for your top down shots, you don't have to put a little toothpick underneath them.
I put a match.
Dude, I know the tricks.
Tricks of the trade.
I'm outside. I put the little rocks, little stick. You can't see it. Holds it up.
God, it's a pain. Especially for an unleveled thing and you put the cigar and it just rolls. And you're like, God damn it. Another trick, though, about taking a top-down picture with a cigar that's circular, you just, if you can move the band, just move the band over, and sometimes it works.
A little bit will do you.
A little bit. But no, I don't think it definitely doesn't make a difference. It's preference. And
some people think that, or some cigar brands will think that they claim that it's a better construction and it holds the construction of cigar better than, but I don't think so. I think it's just,
I don't know the truth behind that. My favorite box press I can think of right now, it's more like a figurado, but it's box presses, but it's the Siri V Milanio. That's like my favorite box.
Yeah, that's a unique one because it's
a figurado and box press.
Yeah.
So I don't. Oh, you know, another good box press is like the El Aroma de Cuba, Mi Amor Reserve. Those are good ones. But no, I don't think I really don't think it makes a difference. So just preference. Just preference.
All right, so so the cellophane question.
We're back.
So cigars are sold in cellophane all over.
Cellophane.
Yes. So the question is, should you remove the cellophane before putting them in the humidor? Some of them are sold in tubes or
like wooden boxes.
Yeah, like the aluminum tubes or glass tubes, little wooden boxes.
I always take them out.
Yes, I would take them out. So they're good for transporting, right? So if you're taking a cigar, and you're bringing a cigar with you somewhere, you can put them in the cellophane, or I would just save the glass tube. Like if you want to take a cigar with you to a party, you put it in the glass tube, seal it off, put it in your coat pocket. That's perfect. Cellophane, I just take them out because I like, first of all, when you're taking pictures, the look of the cellophane sucks, okay? Ugh. It reflects the light, it's terrible.
Especially if it's been sitting around for a while, it gets yellowy.
Well, that yellow, yeah, that's the aging too, yeah. But take them out. I don't like opening up a humidor and just seeing all cellophane. Same. I just want natural cigars, naked cigars. Just let them absorb that humidity because the cellophane will prevent humidity from getting in there. It doesn't prevent it as much as the glass and obviously the glass tube's completely sealed off.
It keeps it fresh, but you don't rely on it totally.
Just take it off, man. Come on. Treat your cigars. You're gonna buy cigars, take it off.
Take it off!
Yeah, I personally do it because I just like opening up a humidor and it just looks aesthetically pleasing with all cigars, all natural, all across.
Another thing that the cellophane is good for is you'll see a lot, obviously when you're buying a box from a cigar, from a distributor or cigar brand, the box that they sell you, the cigars don't come in cellophane, right? Because you're buying the whole box. They don't need to put the cellophane on there in order to put the barcode, right? Like the cellophane, they put it on there individually because you're buying individual cigars. They need to put the cellophane on there. The barcode. To
add on to that, I think it's also for like logistical purposes and keeping accounting purposes, because when you're at a humidor and you're buying a single cigar, they gotta, instead of putting in the barcode or saying, oh, well, how much is this cigar? They can just go beep and just take a picture, scan it, and it goes right in. So plus you need a warning label on the cigars if you're coming into the US. So that's what it is.
That's what it is, bruh.
Oh, here we go. This is another one. Here we go. Can I use Zippo lighters to light my cigar? Hold on.
Well, why don't you show them? So before you do that, okay, so Zippos, old school Zippos have lighter fluid, okay? And you're not really supposed to light cigars with lighter fluid because it'll taint the flavor of the cigar, right? You're supposed to use butane, okay? But if you have a Zippo, Eric's going to show you what you can do to that Zippo.
Perfect example here. So you have your Zippo. Let's listen to it. Oh, just hit the microphone.
Mother. Love it.
You go online, preferably Amazon, and thanks to Justin, you buy the torch insert. It's all simple as that. You get the good feel of the Zippo, then you get a torch, and it's perfect for your cigar. You don't want to be using Bic lighters or gas station lighters to light up your cigar. You're just going to ruin it. And
now we have no affiliate link, not yet at least, on Amazon affiliates or anything like that to make commission off of this. This is just, I found that. I'm telling you, you can go on Amazon, type in Zippo torch insert, and you're going to get it. They have a single and a dual torch, and that's what you're supposed to do. So you get the famous Zippo, clink, 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 clink. Feels great. You can use it.
I mean, ideally, you want to use wooden or cedar matches. But if you don't have that luxury, or if you don't want to use matches, a torch lighter is the way to go.
And we would recommend long latches.
Long latches.
We'll recommend long matches because what you're supposed to do, lighting a cigar. Question.
Here we go.
How do you properly light a cigar? So you're supposed to toast the foot of the cigar first.
Toast my feet.
Get the whole foot toasted. And then when it's finally toasted, then you bring it to your mouth and you finish off the light. And you never touch the flame directly to the cigar. So that leads me into long matches because you're going to want to have that flame last for a little while.
Fact.
So the long match is going to allow you to do that. If you have a shorter match, it's just you have to light 4 or 5 of them. So
that goes back to torches. Torch lighters. When you're torching a cigar, you don't need to put it right up against the cigar. You can kind of put it like yay length if you're watching the video. But it's like about 2-3 inches away from the cigar.
Keep the actual flame, like an inch away from the cigar.
And you don't need to put that bad boy right against the foot
and rotate the cigar too. Make sure you get the whole thing blackened or toasted.
Here we go. Another question right off of it. What do you do if you don't have a circular burn? You have it starts canoeing, or can you fix it?
Yes, you can.
Oh,
so common problems with burns. There's 3 that you usually will get. Well, one, you could get like an uneven burn, okay, where one side's burning quicker than the other.
Hate when that happens.
What that'll usually do is you'll lead to what's called canoeing, and that means when you'll see, if I'm holding it like this, you'll see the top one side of the cigar will start burning and the other side won't, and then it'll form like a canoe almost.
Yep.
What you could do to fix that is over time it might fix itself. Okay, it could just mean that some part of the cigar is drier than the other, and then it'll even out.
If not, just sit that bad boy down.
Yeah,
let it chill for a little bit.
And I would put the side that's burning too quick, put that side facing down, because obviously heat rises and the oxygen and the flame will rise up to the non-burnt part, and it'll correct itself.
Science. I don't really.
Yes, science.
You don't really realize how much you know until you start really talking about it.
You don't realize how much you know until you realize how much you don't know.
What the hell did you just say?
You don't realize how much you know until you realize how much you don't know.
What the hell did you just say?
You don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
You tried taking it somewhere.
I fucking tried.
You tried. It was a good try. You don't know how much
you don't know how much you know until you find out how much you don't know.
Okay. But
so canoeing, yes, you could put it down, let it fix itself, or you could just take a torch and relight the non-burnt side.
Most people don't have patience to let it sit. They just want to go, forget it. We can just torch it back up. So,
and then another problem would be mouse holing, where you'll see like part of the cigar, there'll be like a little hole that is burning. That's when it's just like there's like an air pocket in there, and then the heat will start going up, and all of a sudden, like where your cigar is burning currently, further down towards the head, you'll have like a little hole pop up. Yeah. I wouldn't even touch it. Just continue burning, and it'll fix itself.
That's like you're an electrical engineer. What's it when electricity goes through a water pipe and they find a weak spot in the pipe and they burst a hole? You know the name of that?
Oh, I don't know the name of that.
Do you know what I'm talking about though?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
It's called electricity goes through a water pipe and
they shock it. Yeah,
it finds a weak spot in the pipe and it burns and spits a hole, and then that's how you have a leak. So
and then there's another one called tunneling, which is like the dead center of the cigar is not burning, and that you can just correct with a torch.
I have yet to have that experience.
Yeah, I don't really. That could also be because you didn't light it properly. You only lit the outside of it and started going up too quickly and didn't let the cigar. You could be smoking it too quickly. That's another reason you might have burning issues. You're smoking it too quickly. You gotta let that bitch just let it. Let her breathe, man. Let her ride. Let her. Just let
that bitch breathe.
Just let her.
Who's used to say that?
Let that bitch breathe.
I think we're in a group chat, and someone put in a picture of their cigar they were smoking at a huge tunnel. Did you see that? One of the cigar groups were in. They were smoking.
Yeah, that was recently. Yeah,
huge tunnel. I was like, holy shit! I
did see that. Okay, so here's a question. How can I tell that a cigar is finished? When should I stop smoking the cigar?
When your fingers are on fire and you're saying, holy hell, this thing is
holy hell.
I mean,
you put it down when you don't feel like smoking anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if the cigar isn't done, if you're smoking a cigar and it just goes out, doesn't mean it's done. It just means you need to relight it. But when you're getting like past the top of the band and you're kind of like smoking it like it's a J-bone, you're like, and your freaking fingers are on fire. It's time to put that down, son. Just put it down.
I guess general rule of thumb is you can smoke. Well, you put it down when you want to put it down, right? But general rule of thumb is when the smoke that you're drawing in is hot and it's that's when you should probably stop smoking it, right? As long as this, and you've seen me, you've seen us on here, and we'll smoke it down all the way. Mm-hmm. If the smoke's not hot and I'm still getting a nice draw and it's still sitting in my mouth nice and I can enjoy it, I'm fine. That's when I'll break out some of the mouthpieces, a pick, and I'll keep smoking it. But once it starts getting, I've had cigars that are halfway down the band and it's just too harsh. I'm like, fuck it, just toss it.
I recently realized that. I never really knew when a cigar was finished per se, and then recently I was smoking a cigar. I was like, holy hell. It's really fucking hot. So
where's that's from? I was just watching that movie today. They had it on. I was getting this fresh fade, getting this fresh cut. You know what I'm saying? Son, I got my new fucking haircut. And they had the other guys on the television. They put the movie on, and it's when he's throwing up after he had like the crazy binge.
Oh, that's what it's from.
He's like, holy hell.
Dude, thank you.
He goes, so I got a little drunk last night. I thought a tube of toothpaste was astronaut food.
Dude,
holy hell.
I say that all the time, and I can't remember what it was from. Wow, that is from other guys.
I love the scene when he goes, dude, when the sound of, what does he say? The sound of your pee hitting the toilet is already feminine.
Yeah. It's a great scene when the other guys, when everything's in slow motion, they're going out and they're tearing the town up. The Black Eyed Peas are playing.
Okay, so
what else we got on the list, son?
We talked about that one.
Let me see.
Can cigars be aged, and how long will they last?
I think cigars can last how long? Forever. As long as you're taking care of them, they won't go bad
until they start pluming, right? When they're good.
Just as long as you're taking care of them, they age forever. What was the question? How long can they age?
So can they be aged? So yes, they can be aged.
Most definitely.
What I would do is, if you have a humidor, if you have cigars you're going to age, I would age them in a separate humidor than the current one, than the one that you have for your everyday smokes.
Yeah.
Because to age them, I would age them at a lower temperature and a lower humidity. So if you're keeping your humidor at 70 and 70 or 68, 68,
you probably want like 65.
I'd probably say 65, 65 because it's gonna extend the aging process.
I might even go like 63 degrees, 65 humidity.
And then after they're aging, you're ready to. I would transport them from the humidor into your everyday humidor to bring them slightly back up to where they're going to be ready to smoke.
Yeah, then those bad boys are going to be puffing nice.
One thing that I will note is that the stronger blends will tend to mellow out over time as you age them.
So like a really, really strong full body cigar, if you age it for too long, it'll lose its strength.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I wouldn't say it'll lose its strength, but it won't be as potent as right off the bat.
Not as potent.
Which is kind of the same thing. Think about like wine or whiskey. Right off the bat, it's going to be really potent. But then if you let it sit, let it age a little bit, it won't be as
true.
At patent.
I can proudly say though, I don't have a humidor just for aging cigars. I have them mostly in essential. I have two humidors. I have one giant humidor that has all my cigars, and then I have a smaller humidor that's in it's like in a velvet box, and that's got the special. It's got the Cubans, it's got the Fuente Opus X's, it's got the Davidoffs, it's got the high end stuff.
Yeah, that's the
shout out to Hiram and Solomon Cigars for giving me that humidor.
Boom.
Yeah, that one.
Any other questions? Oh, here we go. Here's one. Can you dip your cigars in cognac or rum or bourbon or whatever? Why do I see people do this? Is this a good idea?
It's not a bad idea. People used to do it.
Yeah, so I think that where it came from was that back in the day,
it used to be dry.
Yeah, the cigar humidification was not as up to
par
advancements and up to par as it is today. Yeah. So the cigars tended to be a little bit drier than they are today.
Look at this.
And look at a little stray. Bing. And so they would dip them to add a little bit moisture. But we
should do that. We should like the day before we shoot. We should like take two cigars, let them dry out a little bit, get some whiskey or cognac or something, and dip it and smoke it.
You should try it.
Right? That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, what I would recommend is just smoke the cigar and then drink the drink. I wouldn't dip it because when you're dipping it, you're not really the flavor is not going to taste like you're just going to taste the. You're going to get the taste of the whiskey on your lips, but then it's not really going to change much.
If we can go back to a few episodes when I dumped my cigar in coffee.
So the question should be, can I dip my cigar in coffee?
It worked flawlessly. So
Can I bathe my cigar in coffee?
because as you were saying, I was like, well, maybe it's gonna get soggy. Like, what's gonna happen? But then I realized, I dropped it in coffee, and it was still pretty good. So I think we should try. Have you ever done it before?
I think I have.
Can you remember?
I'm sure I have. I remember trying when I first started smoking. I tried doing.
You haven't.
No, I tried doing like dipping the cigars in like Grand Marnier or cognac or something, and then I put them in a separate humidor and let them sit to see if it would like change the flavor. But that was when I was a rook. Just fucking smoke the cigar and then like just smoke it and then take a little sip.
Just put it in your goddamn mouth.
So,
but
here's a question. How do you develop your palate for smoking cigars? I've been asked, like people say, how do you taste the flavors of cigars? Like, how can you pick them out?
Yeah. So people go, all right, what cigar should I smoke? And my first question always is, well, what do you like? Do you like something light, or do you want something kind of like strong? And I always thought people would say, like, who never smoked cigars, they're like, oh, I want something mellow. But more and more people who I interact with who don't really smoke cigars too often, the last couple of times they're saying, I want something kind of like meat, like some kind of like in the middle, some kind of strong. I'm like,
something meaty.
I'm like, all right. But I think the way you develop your palate is you want to be better. You want to be able to engage the whole strength level. So I would recommend starting off light, starting off with a milder cigar, Connecticut cigar. Smoke a few of those, get used to those, and then kind of just slowly build up your tolerance and go to, mild to medium, and then medium to full.
And keep smoking.
And then, like, if you're really into it, like, take notes like you do.
Take notes, yeah.
Like, realize what you like. It depends how much time you want to and effort you want to put into it. But, it goes back to, like, if you like drinking beer mostly, you probably want, if you don't like really liquor or, like, whiskey or bourbon, you like beer, you probably want to try a light cigar. But if you like drinking whiskey and bourbon, you probably want something in the middle,
Yeah, and that's, I would say, two suggestions I would have for developing a palate is what I started doing when I first started smoking was I would take the cigar, I would do some research on it before I would smoke it, find out where it's from, find out obviously who makes it, why they made it, the sizing and everything, the blend, what's in it. And then I would look up the tasting notes of that cigar, and I would read them as I'm smoking it and see, okay, can I pick that out? Am I getting that? It says cinnamon. Close my eyes. Do I get cinnamon? Where do I taste cinnamon? It would say, all right, this has got a very earthy, it tastes like cedar. It tastes like this. It tastes like leather, right? And I would close my eyes and say, okay, do I get that? And that's how I would try to pick it out. Another thing I would do is I would smoke puros. So
interesting.
Pick, and this is a tip from 2 episodes ago when we talked with Jonas from Blackbird, is to develop your palate and to find out what different leaves, different tobaccos taste like, is smoke a puro. So smoke a cigar that's a Nicaraguan puro of a specific leaf. Yeah. Now it's probably gonna be hard to find, but because a lot of the cigar brands are not going to do that. They're going to have Nicaraguan puro, but it'll be different leaves from that region. But I would start with smoke a Nicaraguan puro to find out the flavors of Nicaraguan. Smoke a Dominican puro. Smoke a Honduran puro. Smoke a Cuban. And then before you start getting into the blends of, okay, the wrapper's Nicaraguan, the binder is Honduran, and the filler's a Dominican blend. You know what I'm saying? Smoke puros first. Develop a palate of what those puros taste like before you go into different blends.
That's a good idea. And another thing to piggyback off that is there's a good app called Cigar Scanner, and that's what I did when I first started. When I first started doing cigars, I was overwhelmed with the amount of brands and different types of cigars there were. So the app Cigar Scanner, you literally take a picture of it, and it gives you a whole breakdown, who it's made by, what the blend is. It will show other people's ratings on it. It will show you the tasting notes. Mm-hmm. And that was my way of, I wouldn't take notes. That was my way of keeping track of everything because it keeps it logged in the app. And so if you're in the humidor and you're like, oh, this Monte Cristo, 50 años. What's this like? And you take a picture of it, and you can see, X, Y, and Z. This is what it is, and you can refer to another cigar you like and be like, oh, it's kind of similar. I'll do it. But
and I think the flavor wheel too helps.
Flavor wheel definitely helps. But another good question is, say you don't have a lot of time, right? So say you're with you're with a friend or someone, and you're like, all right, let's go get a cigar, and they're like, all right, what should I get? And how would what's a question I guess you would want to ask, or I should be asking is like, so say I never smoked a cigar, and I go with you, and I say, all right, Justin, I want a cigar. I don't know where I'm going. I thought I had a question in my head.
Like, you want a quick cigar?
Yeah, it's like, how do you determine? All right, yeah, if you're a first-time cigar smoker, like you don't smoke a lot, how do you determine what you like without really knowing? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
So I would say it depends on. I would typically ask like, what do you like to drink, right?
Yeah.
Some people, because if they're like, oh, I love Scotch or I love bourbon, like I drink bourbon neat. Like, all right, well, they probably have a palate for some stronger flavored cigars, so I might lean them to that. They say, oh, I like vodka, or I drink, white wine,
beer,
or a light beer. So even beer, if they say like, oh, I love craft beers, I'm like, all right, I might give you medium to full, right, something like that. So I kind of go with what they typically like to drink, and then I know what type of palate they have. Because if they solely drink vodka, like, oh, I love vodka on the rocks, they're probably not going to have a really developed palate. Yeah, for some stronger cigars. Yeah, you can give them a mild to medium, right? But I probably wouldn't give them something that packs a punch, because you'd be like, oh, it's too much.
Yeah. I recommended the other day, one of the guys I work with, we went out for a cigar, and he doesn't smoke too often, but he's like, I kind of like light, but I kind of like in the middle. I want to be able to taste something. So my go-to for people who are just starting out, who want something light, but kind of also a little bit of strength, is the Drew Estate Undercrown Shade. I mean, I think that's the perfect fit for someone in that realm. It's a mild to medium, but it's just right.
It's good. Yeah, it's a good one. I don't know which ones I would recommend for. Maybe like the Caldwell Eastern Standard. That's a good one. Because then the next level up will be a Blind Man's Bluff, which is a really nice smoke, medium body, medium to full. Oliva Connecticut's, those are good one.
Can't go wrong.
There's a few that are.
Rocky Patel Connecticut is a good one. The Rocky Patel, I think it's 1990 vintage. It's the one with the white and gold label. That's a pretty good cigar for like just starting out. But there's so many cigars to pick from.
Yeah, I would even go with like a LFD Cameroon Cabinet, because that one's a nice smoke. It's more on the medium side, but it's got a nice. The body is more meat. It's not a fuller body, but it's got a good flavor. There's a little bit like a honeyness in there, so that sweetness might turn them on, because a lot of people, like when they're smoking the cigars, if you give them that little bit of sweetness, you give them that little creaminess, it's a nice flavor to start off with.
You know what I hate? Hey, when you think you want with a cigar, and they're like, "What kind of cigar?" You're like, "Oh, I like those flavored cigars." You're like,
"Oh, come on!
Why am I wasting my time? Come on!" Like, I like those grape feelings. Nothing wrong with them, but just not my forte.
Hey, that's smoke.
So
more proud to you. But
call it a day.
I think we're gonna call it a day. So that was some cigar questions. I hope we were able to enlighten you guys. If you had any of those questions and we answered them, awesome. If you have any other questions we didn't talk about,
I like these episodes.
Yeah, they're good. They're fun.
They're fun to talk about. Be able to provide a little different experience, and not everything is so cliche when it comes to cigars. Not everything is so proper. You can experiment. You can make mistakes. You can figure things out. Not everything has to be.
Bottom line, it's your cigar. You paid for it. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Sit on it, lick it,
shove it up your ass,
put it in your nose, wave it in front of your TV, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter.
All right,
that's gonna be it.
That's gonna be it. So thank you very much for watching. And yeah, you got to send them off. Come on, you send them off.
Thank you everybody for all the participation, the engagement, and always engaging with us. We really appreciate it. So we're going to keep trucking along, keep riding with us, and we will still be able to provide you with great cigar, man-to-man, lounge, gentleman-like content. Anything else you want to add to that?
Website's coming soon.
Website. We got some new stickers coming out.
Oh, we got some good stuff coming. So stay tuned for all that. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys.
Subscribe, like, give
All
us a
that
comment.
jazz.
All that good stuff to get us known. Because that's all we ask for.
Salud.
Cheers.